Greetings and welcome back, gentles and ladiesmen.
Those metal
what do
shields
you
are making
want?
enemies invulnerable to your flame attack. If you press and hold the square button, you can defeat them with your charge attack.
Again, all stuff you would already know if you played the first game, but I don't know, I guess as the great Stan Lee once said, every comic book is someone's first, and so every video game sequel could be someone's first game in that series, so gotta have that in there for those folks, but, and you know, like I said, you can skip through that dialogue if you want. It's just, I want to show all that stuff off because, I don't know, why not? I want to show off the whole game, the whole experience, and, you know, just like I did with Spyro 1. So here we got an extra life over here, gotta nab that. Some more gems, and since we've defeated that Tiki, our little foreman friend here can break open the lock, and there we go. So, I don't know what I've been talking about. It's one of those, I don't know. So you could see the structure of this level is kind of repetitive.
To aim the camera left or right, press the L2 or R2 button.
Again, all stuff that I could not figure out on my own. Thank you, Zoe. But I think our third minigame's over off to the side there, and not one of my favorite minigames.
If you jump on these stones in the correct order, you will solve the puzzle. I only know what the first one is. It's up to you to figure the rest out.
So basically, this is just a game of trial and error memorization. There's no skill or smarts or anything to apply to this. It's basically just you gotta hope you hit the right one.
In the correct order.
Yes, I know. Apparently, he needed to tell me that a second time.
If you jump on these stones...
Yeah, let's try that again. So there's nothing clever or interesting about this at all. It's literally just jump on a button and hope it's the right one. So, yeah, so that opened up the chest.
Nice job, Spyro. You're pretty smart for a dragon. All I have to give you is this shiny thing I found in our toolbox.
So there's our one of our orbs. I think you could press the start button to skip the little animation, which I might start doing from now on. Yeah, that's all there is to that, and thankfully because the levels in this game are small and confined, unlike a certain fourth game in the series, it shouldn't take us long to get back to where we were. I don't know. But as long as we're on that topic, I feel like there is more back and forth in the Spyro 2 levels than there is compared to the first one, where it was pretty straightforward, like kind of one path. And if there were branching paths, like I think of Misty Bog, for example, usually it looped around and went back to the main drag, just as a convenience thing. But in Spyro 2, there's a little bit more of you having to go around the level.
You're pretty tough. If you ever want a permanent job, we've got a place for you here. For the moment, I want you to have this talisman.
Thanks, Foreman Max. That's our talisman for the stage. We're done this level, as a certain Canadian would say. So we'll go grab some more gems, but we're not even close to done yet. We've got another side quest to do, and a bunch of gems to grab, and a skill point to get, I might add. Let's see. Alright, so up over here. So down there you can see that there's an evil Tiki. That's our second orb to get. First, we'll go up around over here. Alright, so here's our skill point. I'm not sure how anybody's supposed to find this out without a guide. Because, you know, spoilers, I had to use a guide, because fuck trying to figure these things out. It's not like, they're basically, skill points are like trophies from you know, like PS3 and PS4 games, except there's no trophy list to tell you how you're supposed to get them. So basically what you have to do is just keep fumbling around in the game until you find something by accident, which is not very smart design in my personal opinion, not a very rewarding way to set up your side quest. But, you know, it's not like they're tied to anything super important.
It's fabulous to see you, Spyro. Now that the supercharged power-up is active, you can charge through the pedestals and send the dancing hula girls over here to help me.
Yeah, so this evil Tiki right here, I think, is gonna sacrifice or something. I don't know. For some reason it won't, if you've already activated portals for power-up related side quests, then the game won't tell you what the setup is after that. And because I tend to, you know, get everything in one go, just to speedrun the stage as fast as I can, that means that I'm missing out on important information for you guys.
Look at that. The hula girl's rain dance blew up that idol like a Roman candle. Now I can pursue that dancing career I've dreamed of. Take this...
Oops, I accidentally pressed the button. I mean, after all, Hula Girl Stella's dialogue was really riveting, so that's a damn shame is what that is. But that was a pretty weird side quest, and if there is a word that encapsulates Spyro 2, it is weird. This game is very strange, very surreal. Like I said, lots of the cutscenes just show people flat out murdering people. And there's always some kind of weird shit going on in every single level. Like, I remember, I did a playthrough of this game on Game Mavericks with my brother Eric, and he was, like, consistently shocked at how strange and surreal this game is. So...
What is that thing?
What are you laughing?
Have you just what she is? What is that?
She's a fawn.
She's a fawn?
Yeah. Spyro's voiced by Tom Kenny also.
She looks like a human, but with fawn-like features.
She has a
very
tail.
Strange. It's very strange. It's like he's a dragon. Hunter's voice acting is a dragging this game down.
Were you trying to keep something from me? A dragon? You want a dragon? Traveler?
Look at his face. Look at his face.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, or anything. I'm just pointing that out. Is when you stop and think about what happens in Spyro 2, you know, it's a pretty weird game. There was some weird stuff in the first game, but not nearly to this extent. Anyways, we got a couple more gems up here, and there's this little rocket that'll go up and hit the treasure chest up in this platform at the beginning of the stage that we couldn't reach earlier. Much like with Spyro 1, there are, you know, basically reinforced metal things that you can't open with your standard moveset. So you will have to use rockets to break those. And both the rockets and the cases got a redesign for this game. Alright, so all we got left for the stage is the last chunk of the stage behind the talisman guy in the exit portal. So we'll go over there and backtrack to that real quick and grab those, and then we'll be on our way. So let's see if I can make those easy jumps properly. So yeah, like as you can see, even I don't know, there might be a slightly more efficient way to do this, but no matter what, you end up having to backtrack through the level a bunch in this stage just because of the way it's structured, which is, I don't know, it kind of kills the flow for me just a teeny bit, if I'm not gonna lie. And that's something that I feel like Spyro 3 and Spyro 1 doesn't have a problem with. So yeah, that's Idle Springs all the way done. We've collected everything, including the skill point, so we are going to leave this stage. Like I said, this game is weird. And you know, better that it be weird and, you know, make me feel something and feel kind of unique. I'm just, whoa, what happened there? I guess you can press the camera buttons during that transition and it will make him clip through stuff. But yeah, so that's all there is for Idle Springs, and now that we're done with that, we can move on to one of the other levels in the world. I might need to go grab a refreshment, because I'm feeling a mite parched. I'm feeling a mite peckish, as the Brits would say. If you're from England, please tell me why it is that you say peckish instead of hungry. I'd be interested to know the origins of that slang. And if you are Canadian, please explain to me why you'd do not like to use prepositions when you say that you're done with something. I'm not gonna give it up, damn it. It's a thing you do, and you know it. But I digress.
You're
Speaking
well on
of things
your way,
Canadians
Spyro.
do.
Keep collecting talismans to help us defeat Ripto before he can take over Avalar. Oh, and keep collecting those orbs, too. The professor thinks they will help you get back to the Dragon World.
Yeah, so in terms of Spyro as a character, because I've talked
Are you
about
enjoying the active camera mode? If you don't like it, I could set it back to the passive mode.
No thanks, Greg Berger.
Okay, I won't change it. Remember, you can change the camera mode yourself by using the options menu.
So in terms of Spyro as a character in this game, which is something I talked about at length in my Spyro 1 playthrough, just because I thought he was such a unique idea. Basically, this little kid who finds himself in a unique position to basically rise up and be the hero everybody always knew he could be. And oh, look at that!
I saw something shiny at the top of this wall. You could probably get it, but you'll have to learn how to climb first.
Progression gating! Isn't that great, everybody? Why don't we head over here, Sunny Beach or Hurricos? I think I want to play Hurricos first. Go to Hurricos real quick. Let's see. I think this is one that doesn't have murder in it, so that should be fun. Wasn't that weird? It's almost like every Spyro thing is weird.
We've always had
Spyro
trouble
2.
with the gear grinders, but now they've set up force fields to separate us. If you can find diodes, you can use them to turn off the force fields. I think there's a diode around here somewhere, but my eyesight isn't what it used to be.
Thanks, SpongeBob. I think this game came out like 1 year before SpongeBob premiered. Like SpongeBob premiered in like 1999, I think, and this game came out in 98. Is it 98? 1999. So this came out the same year that Spyro 2 came out the same year that SpongeBob premiered. So I don't know. I guess Tom Kenny just felt like doing a SpongeBob voice for those guys. Not sure why, but yeah, so this level's pretty unique looking, I gotta say. It stands out. It's one of the most memorable in Spyro 2, in my personal opinion. To get skill point in this level, we will have to destroy those windmills. And for some reason, you know, it would make much more sense to me in terms of how the skill points work if there was a skill point in every level, you know? Like every level you go to, oh, there's a skill point here. But for some reason, that's not how it works. Only select levels have skill points, and there's no indication whatsoever to the player that they are a thing that exists in that level. So basically, unless you want to look it up, online, which is what you probably will end up doing in this day and age. But back in 1999, your options were to look it up on the fledgling internet, screw around in the game until you find it, or use the special Sony Tips hotline, where you can get special game tips. That was a thing back in the day. Oh, and guess what, folks? If you still have the manual for this game, on one of the last pages, pages 28, it says, "Now that you've got the game, arm yourself with the power of knowledge. Look for Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, Prima's official strategy guide at your local software book retailer. Buy the book, send in the subscription card, and get a free 6-month subscription to PSX Stream. Only $14.95. That's the price of knowing where the skill points are, ladies and gentlemen. But you know, it's something that's kind of irrelevant now, because nowadays you can literally just look it up and find it that way, but it's just like, in terms of being a satisfying side quest, skill points, it's why I've never bothered with skill points up until my practice playthrough of this game. It's because just who cares? The game obviously doesn't. But it does unlock, I might have said something that contradicted this, but you do actually get something for getting all this, for getting all of the skill points, and it's actually kind of important to the story, slightly, in that Spyro 2 kind of way, that only Spyro 2 could pull off. Yeah, but as you can see, the structure of this level, the gear grinders have shut off the power and the Spark Troll's giant windmill, so we gotta grab these diodes to reactivate the gates so that we can reactivate the machines. That's what's going on here. And yeah, I mean, it's a pretty fun little level. But it does have one of the more baffling mini games in the game. In fact, let's go play that right now, just since we're right next to it, as it is. As you can see, these guys here are bugging him. So let's talk to this Spark Troll and he'll explain it.
These gear grinder thieves keep taking our lightning stones. If you can replace them all and activate our generator, I'd be very grateful.
So, like I said, this is one of the most baffling mini-games in Spyro 2. I really have no idea what the point was. Basically what we do is we gotta reactivate these machines by shooting these little stones here. And yeah, so we'll shoot them over to they're like these little pedestals with little things on them, and then when it goes in, it reactivates the machine. But there are these thieves in this minigame who, when you walk away from the machines, will basically go back behind you and undo everything you've already done. And it's not like it's a timing thing or anything, where it's just like, oh, you just gotta do it fast enough. No, basically what you're doing is you're waiting for them to come behind your back and undo your progress, so that you can walk back over and kill them. That's what you're doing in this minigame, and it's such a weird idea. It feels like such a pointless waste of time. Like, they'll come back behind you and steal the thing, and then disappear off screen when they get far enough away from you. So even from doing all of that, we only got about half of them. There are probably a couple back over here now, or not. So it just feels like if it was more like a thing where you gotta get them all on the time limit, that would actually be some kind of challenge, you know what I'm saying? But this is just like a pointless waste of time. Like, see, that guy literally just came back right behind us and just undid that. And the minigame ends when you've killed all of the guys, like there's a counter, so there is a limited number of thieves that will show up to try to steal the stones. But, you know, still, it just feels like so pointless and weird. And I'm not really sure what the point of this was. It's not like a terrible minigame that's like, oh my god, this ruins the game. It's not like trying to get 100 jump rope, trying to get a score of 100 in the jump rope minigame in Mario Odyssey or that kind of shit. Or trying to grind a bunch of coins so that you can buy 99 moons and get to 999, because that's a thing that needed to be in Mario Odyssey, right? But enough ranting about that for now. It's not like that, but it is stupid and makes no sense, and it's just like, a lot of people like to criticize the minigames in Spyro 3 and say that that's apparently where we went too far. And there are the other characters in that game as well, which is, you know, another discussion entirely, but still, it's just like, I don't understand how people could complain about boxing, but apparently this is a good minigame. I can't agree with that. Hey, come back here, you fuck! And these fuckers are fast. Which is probably why okay, so now they're dead, so now we can actually finish the minigame. It's just such a weird idea. Like, I don't want to rant and rave on this too hard, because like I said, it's not the end of the world. It's just very strange idea, very strange execution. It doesn't really add anything. It just feels like kind of a big waste of time. I don't know. Like, I think this minigame would have been like a lot more fun if it was like, oh, you gotta find the things and bring them back to the pedestal within the time limit. That would have actually been more like a challenge, you know what I'm saying? But the way that they ended up going about it just makes no sense to me, so... yeah, that's all I've got. We've basically done.
Thank you, Spyro. I found this shiny thing mixed up with our lightning stones. Please, take it as a reward.
Cool. And yeah, you can't press the start button to skip that, because who has time for that? So that's that minigame done and over with. Like I said, it's harmless in the grand scheme of things. It's hardly something that's gonna basically prevent you from 100%ing the game or anything. So it's hardly that offensive. I just think it's not a very interesting, challenging, or rewarding minigame to play. That's all I'm saying. And I don't know. I feel like the escort mission from Spyro 3 at least has some challenge to it by comparison, is all I'm saying. Don't want to show up my hand too quickly on that one, though. So, still got a bunch of robots and stuff to go after. Here's another diode that'll take us to probably the last talisman here. Might as well grab that before we go for the last orb in the stage. I don't think the gates hurt you or kill you or anything if they touch you. They're just like invisible walls, but I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head, and it doesn't really matter. Let's see, sir. We got our talisman.
Thank you, Spyro. You've deactivated all of the electric barriers. We've been guarding this talisman from the gear grinders. Please, take it as a reward.
So it's kind of implied that talismans are like special objects that are basically like artifacts that represent that world, and they're like precious and valuable. Like if you've played Attack of the Rhinox, it's kind of like the hearts from that game. But they just sort of willingly give them to you just for doing really easy tasks. Or, I don't know, I guess, I don't want to be too harsh in this point. I guess what I'm trying to say is, they seem a little too eager to give them away, if you know what I'm saying. Like, oh, we don't want the gear grinders to get this because it's our special treasure, but hey, you can have it for beating the gear grinders that we were trying to keep the talisman from. I don't know. Maybe they could have gone the route of it'll be safer with you or something like that. There's another side quest we can do around here. This one's actually pretty good compared to the other one. Basically, we have these switches that activate these, or basically slow down these propellers. And there's another objective we can complete in the stage for an orb. So basically, it's a bunch of platforming we haven't done yet that you wouldn't bother to do if the orb wasn't there. So this is probably one of the better orbs in the game, in my personal opinion, compared to what is also one of the worst orbs in the game from that mini game we just played. That's how we get that guy, and then there's one more we gotta get over there, so we'll go grab that real quick. That should be like the last windmill, I think. And that should get us the skill point for the stage, I believe. Go give it the old run around. And you do have to press these switches, otherwise the fans will be spinning too fast and then you can't jump on them. So that's basically what we're doing, is using the switches to deactivate the fans so that we can use them to platform around.
Spyro, do you see that big building over there? The gear grinders are using it to steal our electricity. Please help us by shutting down the machinery inside.
Oh no. Looks like we're gonna have to help them out in part 4, folks. So until next time, I'm Exoparadigm Gamer, and I will see you guys in part 4 when we help the Electrolls reactivate their central mechanism.